Hey everyone, my name is Zach. I'm a 22-year-old competitive bowler from Canada, currently living near Frankfurt, Germany. Welcome back to the COMPCLIMB training series, where I record all of my training, provide in-depth analysis of every session, and just chat about climbing with an emphasis on competition. So in the last episode, we were at Studio Bloc Mannheim, which we are also at today, and I had just a crazy bad session. I got my butt kicked, didn't get any tops, and we also kind of told the novel of the day, which was like the world's unluckiest day. Like everything just went wrong, and it was just like sort of the terrible day that you have to balance out all the good ones. And so I had, like, as soon as we got home and throughout like yesterday's rest day, I had one thing on my mind, and that was just like I couldn't wait to come back to this gym and try and get revenge on all these boulders. I find when I'm in like a period of like a phase of training where I'm super motivated, I find that it really bothers me to go leave boulders unsent or just like have a bad session and like almost sit on that for a rest day. So the fact that I was like spending my rest day just like working up the psych to come back to the gym, and I almost like wasn't just like sitting back and enjoying my rest day. I was just waiting to get back to the gym for training, means that I'm in like a nice phase of training, and it's always like kind of fun to realize when that's happening, because especially in like the last couple of years, my motivation has gone like up and down and has dipped sometimes. And like I haven't had this sort of feeling in a while, so it feels really good. And it's also nice because we have a very clear objective coming up, and like I kind of touched on it in a couple episodes ago, but right now the big priority that we're training for is Canadian Nationals. So that is going to be at the end of November. It's in British Columbia, and I have a very clear goal, and that is to win the event. I have only won it once, like a few years ago now, and I made finals a few times. I was second once, but I want to get back to the number one spot in Canada. And like a more like even like sort of longer goal for the season is throughout the North American Cups and the other Canadian like sort of selection events. My goal that I want to like strive for throughout the season is to eventually get to number one in the ranking for the men. And that's what we're training really hard for, and that's why I've got all this psych to go just like perform at my best throughout all these training days.
And it's funny because I've got psych for the exact same competition. I've come in second many times at Canadian Open Nationals. I've never actually won it. Like I'm ranked really high, but I definitely have not punched that ticket like Zach has. So this is definitely, I hope that we can both like get the stars to align.
The Zaddy double win, that's what we're going for.
But I'm on rest month right now, so I'm building up the motivation, and I'm just watching Zach crush stuff, and that's getting me psyched to get back to it eventually.
Yeah, and then like just to reiterate, we mentioned it, I think it was at the end of yesterday or the couple days ago episode. She, like Maddie said, she's on rest month, and so that's why you haven't been seeing any like Maddie episodes of the COMPCLIMB. Like we got her to commit to once a week, which she's still gonna do. So when she's back to training after rest month, she'll put some of her episodes out.
So hopefully you guys remember this boulder from the last video. This one, he couldn't send this or stick this first move at all. And
how many times did you say I tried the first move here?
25 maybe.
Probably, like 25, 30, many times.
So luckily today, you can see it's kind of gloomy out. Like it was just kind of raining here in and out. It was actually pouring rain right after he tried this boulder.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like great temperatures, like 25 degrees, it wasn't even hot at all. Like it was absolutely send temps for Zach.
And meanwhile, the last time we were trying this was a crazy hot day where like the slopers were just like so bad to hold on. So here you see, wait, was that from the jug?
Yeah, that was from the jug.
That was from the jug, okay. Like this was like sort of the perfect opportunity to do this boulder. It's been like this heat wave has felt like never ending here in Europe, and there's been like no relief, and so this was like a very rare opportunity to like put some good effort in on this boulder.
And it's literally just today. Like tomorrow, it's going back up to 30.
Oh,
so
is it really?
This was your only chance to try these boulders.
It's funny how you hear about me talking. Okay, here we go. I finally stick this move for the first time.
So he was like so nonchalant. He just like does it after maybe 4 or 5 attempts, and then you can see he just dropped it.
I instantly was like, it's one of those times where like, oh my god, I finally stuck the move, and I was not ready for it. So
what was the trick with sticking it?
The trick was sticking it, and it's weird too. Like I think I'm about to stick it right here again. This is the descent attempt. It is not.
No.
Okay, a couple more tries. Both the times I stuck this move today were on a double take, and it was very strange. It's like it doesn't seem like a sort of move that you want to be like double taking.
Like it's like max effort. Like it seems like a weird one.
And max friction too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's like almost like the way that I would relax my hands when I would go and try it for the second time in a row for some reason, like this is very.
Is this it, by the
this
way?
is a ascent attempt, so it's very precarious how you want to grab this first sloper because it's like got a groove.
Oh.
No, it's not. It's got a groove on it, but it's also like it's slippery, and there's like so many different little ways you can grab it. And I was like playing around with so many tiny subtle ways to grab this hold, and I would like go with the intention to try like a really subtle, like some micro beta with a grip position on every try, but then when I would fall and it wouldn't work, I'd just be like, okay, screw it. I just want to go see what it feels like to just try it without really thinking. And then that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
And both the times I double took it, I stuck it. Or like both times I stuck it, I double took it. I don't know if there's anything really to take away from this. I think it's just kind of like particular to this move, and that's just kind of how it ended up working for this move. But this boulder, I ended up trying, I don't know, I probably tried this first move like 50 times, and I finally sent it today.
And there's this forearm bar again.
Oh, yes, this forearm bar. This boulder is my favorite boulder over in the gym. I really love this boulder. It just kind of speaks to me. You know, when a boulder speaks to you, it's very pretty. Usually I'm not good at these super open-handed, like, sloper boulders, and so I wanted to kind of conquer, like, a little bit of weakness, and getting a send this boulder was pretty hype. And if you want to reward me for sending this boulder after, like, a million tries, go click that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot.
So you can see Zach is now revisiting this one. So I guess he was like psyched from his send. He was like, okay, now I'm going to go do this one.
Well, I said that to him. I'm like, let's go see if I can send this boulder now that I have some momentum.
Yeah, because he was complaining. Like, he was saying that his like tricep is such a hard mantle that he was getting so fatigued. And I think what we found was that you were still fatigued when you were trying it during this.
I was still fatigued, and like this mantle is sort of like intense mantle where it's also a lot in your back and your lower back when you have, especially with like the foot that's so slopey, and that's kind of the crux of this boulder. Is a weakness of mine. I am not great at this super intense mantling, and so I've obviously tried this boulder a lot. We started with this boulder, and I couldn't stick this mantle once, and it was interesting. So the setters were setting today in the gym. And then the setter of this boulder, his name is Philip. He's a nice guy, and he's also really strong. He set this boulder, and he came and told me how he did it, and he showed me a video of him as well. He sent the boulder, and so basically we're going to try this boulder a few more times, and then I'm going to go away to another boulder and then come back. And then when I come back is like when at the point where he's told me this beta, and maybe you can see what I end up trying. And he says that this boulder, like it's such an intense position for this mantle. Like you don't find any sort of like stable position to lock off and statically go to this Gaston. It's like feels like you have like only a second to move your arm, and you have to hit the Gaston to keep the tension. So he told me that the way to really try this move was to kind of almost do like a shoulder rotation and sort of like have your arm slide around the wall like this, and so that instead of trying to pull it out and like push your chest out from the wall, there he is. That's Philip walking by. Instead of having to like pull your arm through and kind of push your chest out, that's going to spit you away from the wall faster, right? And so he came up with this really smart beta where, well, I mean, he set the boulder too, where you kind of try and like almost use your shoulder mobility as much as possible so that you don't push yourself away. And this is definitely something, this is Philip's tip of the day to me, you could say. This is something that I can take away from this boulder and like try and use it in any sort of other scenarios where you're in a mantle or some sort of move where, you know, pulling your arm through is going to push you away from the wall and from a stable position, and kind of letting your body stay close to the wall while you rotate your arm like this is going to help.
Like, I've never actually heard beta like that, where it's about like how you move your arm. Usually it's like how to hold a hold or how to drop your knee or something. But
my mind was kind of blown.
Yeah, I was standing there, like I haven't tried obviously this boulder, but that really made a lot of sense. And so hopefully Zach can put the pieces together on that.
Yeah. And I wasn't able to do it. Still tried a bunch more. The ending of that boulder is also really cool. I like that last move.
So this boulder actually from the ground looked super hard too. And Zach was like really, like he was struggling on it, but like he was like making progress as he was going through. But the holds look terrible. Like this start is just like heinous, and like he like half the time he's like not able to start it. He's, like,
I do find a better way to start it later.
Yeah.
And like this sort of friction based climbing is like what I was kind of mentioning a few videos ago is something I want to start training. And I wouldn't say this is actually a weakness of mine, but I'm inspired to kind of get better at it. Like I was mentioning, Charlie Barron was like saying how he's been so he was the competitor that was second at Jackalope, and I was talking to him at the event, and he was telling me how he's really been training like his friction power and his like super like sloper power, and these volumes is actually kind of deceptive from this angle, but they are so slopey and they're actually quite sticky, and if they weren't sticky, this boulder would just be impossible. But it's funny how you see me hanging on these holds, and it looks like I'm not really trying hard, and it almost looks effortless, but any little like bit of momentum or swing that you don't want is going to spit you off this boulder. It's something that I've been inspired to train recently, and I've like sort of I'm starting to incorporate some sloper hangs on my Beastmaker that we're going to be doing in order to train this. And I was psyched to kind of put we've only done one session on the slopers so far, but I was psyched to just sort of like really test out the skill, and I want to start learning a bit more about it, and really trying to understand like what makes like this sort of like friction-based climbing work.
Yeah, like every time Zach has like a little breakthrough like this, or like a new like beta, I'm always like, I get super psyched to like get to training myself and find my own like new level up things that I can do. And it just sucks that I just have to wait like 2 more weeks before I can do anything. Like right now I'm like, technically I'm getting worse at rock climbing right now.
Well, pay attention here, like the sequence that you see me do. I'm kind of hanging around a bunch and like just sort of campusing, and that I just remembered in this instance something I was thinking about while I was trying this boulder. Also, I want to pause and quickly say that while I was trying this boulder, we ran into like a subscriber of the channel, and he was telling me how he watched all his videos. His name is Florian, so if you're watching, thanks for coming up and chatting to us.
And actually, before you mention that, I just want to take a second to, I think this is a good time to talk about our title sponsor for the YouTube channel, which is Climbers Rock. It is our home gym in Toronto, and it's where we do most of our training when we're in Canada. You can find the link in our description, and if you want more information about like the most epic gym in Ontario, definitely go check it out.
Shout out to Florian, and for that boulder, one epiphany I kind of had, and so
first of all, before you say that, you can see Zach here, like because he's not putting his shoulder right up next to the wall, he's just pushing himself out. Like his left hand, when he raises it, it just completely, he's way too, like he just pushes him like way, like an inch too far out that he can't do it.
Yep, I'm trying to put like the Philip's advice into practice there with like the sort of rotation. And
you hadn't heard it yet, had you?
No, at that point I had, and you could see it a bit if you pay attention. I'm trying to do the sort of shoulder rotation.
And you just have to be a bit more slow and maybe more energy.
Yeah, I noticed that it was definitely helping. I felt much closer, but I think my triceps were getting tired, and there's some other parts of that movement that I need to optimize, like if my leg is extended or like the position of my back. But there's a bit more to work on for there, but Philip's advice actually was really helping, and it was kind of cool to see how that worked. And then, so the thing I want to say about the sort of friction-based like sloper climb and sort of like just that skill in general, I realized on that climb, something that I was doing on that climb that I have also done in the past when I'm trying these boulders that helps. And you can think back, if you can remember back to the Jackalope video in the qualifiers, there's one boulder with just this really bad blue sloper. It was a flat hold. Maddie pointed out how it was super bad.
Like I could not hold on to this.
Couldn't hold it, and then I like found like some success on it, and I was able to do the move. And I did something on that sloper that I did on the slopers on that boulder that we just sent today. And that's actually sometimes with these boulders on these holds, it's actually more effective not to use your feet and to just hang and campus if you can, because when your feet are, I mean, if you have like good footholds, that's a different story, of course. But when you have your feet on the wall, sometimes it will encourage you to bend your arms, and it might push you away from the wall because just your feet are on the wall and they're naturally going to sort of push you out. Whereas if you're hanging, you're going to completely like sink as low as you can on the slopers and just create a nice straight line down from the slopers, and it's going to like minimize your swing in regards to like your depth to the wall. And it actually just helps you like stay super sticky and super like have your center of gravity exactly where you want on the slopers to minimize the chance of like a bit of like a bobble happening and you just like falling off these slopers. So when I matched the sloper in the qualifiers at Jackalope, I found that I kind of matched it and hung for a second and then did what I want with my feet. And on this boulder that we just did today, I also was sort of camping around on it, and I found it was better than using the footholds, which you see I was trying in my previous attempts. And then when I switched to campusing, it worked. It's kind of interesting to learn that today.
You said, like, hey, I'm going to try, like, just campusing through this. I was like, oh, there's strong Zach just being strong again. But it actually did work. And actually, you're going to see an instance right here of strong Zach being strong. Oh, my God, true. You're supposed to put, like, 2 thumbs underneath the finish hold and just, like, press up on it. It's, like, blocked, but it's, like, terrible. Instead, he decides to just pinch this terrible blocked, like, upside-down sloper. And it was, like, the most desperate top I've ever seen. But obviously, Zach's playing to his strengths, and if you can do it, you might as well, right?
Yeah, and obviously that's another boulder we weren't able to take down in the last session, and I was able to get revenge on, so it was quite satisfying.
So that's now 3 out of 4 that you did.
No,
I guess like,
two revenge boulders. Oh, hey, look at that! I got the crap winded out of me on that.
So as soon as he did that, I was like, "Are you going to injure yourself again on this? Like first, like the scrape, and now you're just going to just completely kill yourself."
Well, yeah, if you remember, like if you haven't seen the last episode, I almost lost my nipple. You can see the two like little black footholds in the first half of this run. I got really close to the wall in one of my attempts, and I almost got my nipple chunked off, I swear.
And I told him not to try this.
Painful.
I told him not to try this again because I was like, there's no way you can actually do it when you're scared of the wall. But
so you can decide.
He does it, yeah.
You can decide whether or not I'm the bravest person you've ever seen or the dumbest. But either way, I should say that I was trying to stay a bit further away from the wall, and actually it kind of helped with the move too, so that. And this leads me to the tip of the day for this episode. So I kind of already gave you like Philip's tip of the day, but here's my tip of the day. It's a short one for this move. So I try to stay a bit away from the wall, and the reason is because when I hit the paddle hold, something that I did in order to stick the rest of it, and actually really helped, is I hit the paddle hold, and then my left foot smeared on the wall, and it actually helped redirect my momentum sort of around and in, and give me more just sort of momentum to keep going and push me along. And so today's tip of the day is that there are a lot of instances where you can find this in a dyno. Any sort of dyno is like a sort of hidden smear that you can incorporate to help boost your momentum or redirect it. There's been times where I've been doing like a big distance dyno, like let's say I'm kind of going to the side or behind me. I can do the dyno, kick off the wall to give me more momentum, and that'll help me just get the distance I need. And so that's kind of something you can always look for with your dynos. I'll say that it doesn't come up that much, but when it does, it's kind of a game changer.
Well, it's funny. Like I have so much beta and like secret tips about all these boulders that are up at Studio Bloc right now. Like I hope that some of them are still up so I can go and flash the boulders that Zach has like spent, so much time and effort getting all like the micro beta for.
Yep. And so, as you can tell, like the sort of the day of training is kind of mixed up. I haven't mentioned yet. Typically, this day of training would be a spray wall session in the morning, and we usually do this at Boulder, and then our boulder session is session 2. But when I write my program and I kind of put my 2 sessions in for the day, I can do them in whatever order I want. Usually, I'll do them kind of left to right, and that's sort of the way I write them because that's sort of almost like my recommended order, and that's usually how I'll do them. But for today, since I got my butt kicked so badly on most of these boulders at Studio Bloc, I was so frustrated, and I just had to come back and get revenge on them. I couldn't control myself. I just needed to try them again. So I decided to switch my spiral session and my boulder session. I switched the order of them. So I did my boulder session first at Studio Bloc while I was fresh, so I had a better chance of to succeed on the boulders. And then instead of doing spiral session, which we usually do at Boulder, like I said, I decided to sub it up for a moonboard session, which we haven't done yet at any point in the COMPCLIMB series. And I don't usually, I've probably had, 10 moonboard sessions in my entire life. And usually I'll train with my buddy Ben back home in Canada. He loves to train on the moonboard, and I find when I'm training with him on the moonboard, it's actually a lot of fun. But other than that, I don't necessarily love it. I think that it's actually it is a great training tool for finger strength, even for comp climbing. Every now and then I'd recommend this, and I wouldn't say that the moonboard is sort of irrelevant for just comp climbers. So I decided, and it was easy because I didn't want to go all the way from Mannheim to Frankfurt to Boulder. That travel trip is over 2 hours, and I just wouldn't do it. So in order to sort of stay at the gym all day, I decided to use a moonboard here. And here you can see this picture in picture. So I started off with an 8 and a 9 to kind of warm up on the moonboard, and then I started trying this boulder a lot. And this is a boulder I've sent in the past. So on the right there is I think it's Zach from April of this year sending this boulder, and that's actually my second time sending the boulder. So that video you're seeing is a repeat of this boulder. So this is me trying to repeat the repeat boulder. And the reason is I did not rest enough for this session. I rested probably 2 hours. And the reason is because, as you can see on our program for today, we've got we were supposed to do pistol squats right after the boulder session, and then we're supposed to do pinch block right after the moonboard. But there's no weight at Studio Bloc, and a couple of these, at either Studio Bloc locations, they don't have any weight. And respect to them, it's they're a climbing gym first, and you don't want people dropping weights all around. I understand.
But in Canada, we're very used to full gyms in every single climbing gym.
There's weights everywhere, so I can write my programs like this in Canada and get away with it. But I'm realizing I can't necessarily do that here. And so I try, like I mentioned, I sometimes I like to mix it up and sort of take my workout and divvy out the exercises between all the climbing sessions. And I did that, not really realizing like how not practical it actually is to do that here in Germany. So I can't just go and do pinch block after, or like I can't do pistol squats after my boulder session at Studio Bloc because there's no weight. And I can't like do a pinch block here after my moonboard session here because there's no weight. And so I would almost have to break it up into a separate thing and almost do a third session. Like I had originally planned this day to go to another gym, which we actually discovered called Boulder House, which we'll definitely be visiting soon. And it's like much closer to our apartment. And they have everything we need for like a workout, for like pinch block, hangboard, workout.
Except for a squat bar.
Except for squat bar. I don't do squats, luckily enough for me. I just do pistol squats, but Maddie will have to figure something out. But anyway, I plan to kind of go there on my way home. And so I rested for less than I normally would for this moonboard session. But like after my boulder session, I felt like super bad. Like I had no power. It was just a garbage session. You see, I cut it like almost in half. And here,
that was the worst attempt I've ever seen.
That wasn't even an attempt on the boulder. I was like, I think I have one more try in me on this boulder. And then I just walked up to the wall.
Oh my God.
All of a sudden it hit me. I'm like, I can't try this boulder. So I just like, I don't know. I messed around a bit and like just fooled around the wall. I don't know. And so, yeah, basically I realized on this day, it's like, I cannot just sort of divvy up all the sessions like that because it leads to me to like almost try and create a third session in the day. That can't happen. So what I did is like, I said, okay, well, I'll just do what I usually do. And I took all the exercises out from how they were divvied up. I put them all into one big workout that we just do on our second session of day 2. And we can do that all in like one location at Boulder House, Darmstadt, which will probably be like our go-to place now for the workout. And yeah, so I kind of sort of just rewrote my program there. And I didn't end up doing the pinch block or pistol squats that we were supposed to do today because I'm going to do them tomorrow. I just rewrote the program. And I guess that was all to say as well that the sort of reason that I was trying this to repeat this boulder is because I knew like when I feel sort of weak and low power like that, that's not sort of when you want to do new boulders. It's often like harder to really try hard on a new boulder when you're like not feeling so great. So I decided to pick a boulder that I already done. And you can see I was like nowhere close to doing it today. So I just thought I'd incorporate the clip of me sending it like a few months ago just so you get some context.
So would you say, though, it was like an revenge? Like you got revenge on your boulders from yesterday?
The boulder session was very satisfying. I quite enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. That white boulder, I haven't been inspired by a boulder like that in so long. I don't know. I can't really just like iterate how psyched that boulder got me. And I was so mad not to stick that first move because I was so close as well. So it was vindication for sure.
So we just have the yellow left then.
Just the yellow. Yeah, I didn't end up sending the yellow. That mantle's super hard. And Philip, it was cool too to see his video. He made it look really easy. And I definitely need to practice that pressing.
Well, luckily we won't be back to Mannheim for a while, right?
It'll be a few days before we're back to Mannheim.
Yeah, so you'll have a little reset a little bit, so you'll have like a full session.
That's true. And there's still some boulders I haven't gotten on as well throughout the gym. So yeah, we kind of rewrote our program a bit. I updated it in the description as well, like the PDF. There's a PDF of the program and every description of every video. So I updated it with the new workouts that we're going to be doing. It's the same workout, just the new order of the exercises. And also in the new updated program, it kind of shows some sort of local events that have come onto our radar that I'm going to take part in. And I've got them listed so you can check out what's happening. But yeah, tomorrow we're going to Boulder for a campus session and the workout that we missed out on today and what we were supposed to do. So tune in for that.